advertise it around this time. What? Okay. Oh, no. I'm gonna have to quit the game real quick and then get back in. There we go. Okay. Oh wait, did you want me to set the or send the stream to you if you want to watch along? Here, I'll link it. Okay, I have to set a time. I'm gonna set my no. I'm just gonna set the time that it is again because it's 11:51. I should probably make sure. Oh, 11:51 p.m. Your favorite time of day, or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 11:51 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 11:51 p.m.? It's slightly inaccurate now because it is now 11:52. Yeah, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders. We've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip up a couple new ones. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's great. Okay, let me get my game unwindowed now. Now that I don't want it to be a window, it is a window. You should not be able to hear through the Discord chat. If you do, it's probably because it is coming from my laptop, and my microphone might pick up a little bit. Ah. Yeah. Understandable. Also, I don't think that you are audible in stream at all, which I don't know if that's what you want or not. But you know, it's gonna sound like I'm having a very one-sided conversation. I like having context. Hold on. Hmm. Wait, okay, I'm gonna try something. Can you talk for me real quick? Oh, what's going on here? Okay, hold on. I gotta figure out where everything is coming from. Okay, say something real quick for me. No, I don't think it's working. Okay, here. Hold on. Okay, now try. If you click mute in the Discord call, you will mute yourself. If you mute the Discord call, you mute yourself. You can deafen me in the Discord call, I think, but it will. Yeah. I want to get maybe audio output is what I need, right? I'm trying to think. It's not going to be desktop audio because you're not coming from my desktop. You are coming from my headphones. Wait, okay. So I know that's working. We're like test running this. Hold on. I'm going to close the game again. Okay, so this is like the only way to reliably test whether or not. Let me hear you. I feel like I'm gonna have to look this up. You know what? I have an idea of how this might be able to work. But it's goofy. Essentially, it was to make it so that you are audible via my mic. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I'm going to try it. Gimme. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to hang up on the Discord call real quick and then jump back in on my phone. Okay. How's that? See if I can hear you. Very slightly. Oh god. No, let's turn media volume down. Okay. I might have this remotely figured out. I'm such a genius. Okay. No, I'm not. Let's just get on with it. This will work better than whatever I was doing before, though. So. Yeah, that's good. I have subtitles enabled, but I don't know how well it's going to work with my visual being kind of laggy. Oh, did I even turn back on my... I did not. I did not turn my screen cap back on. His ass is not screen recording. There you go. Adjust the slider. You made me set the time. Adjust the slider until the dog and the cat are friends. Oh, that's so cute. Till the number 5 becomes the number 9. There you go. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. No middle sliders, babe. Which of the two made-up words is most appealing? Occuboinkle or scrumptious? I like occuboinkle. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. You know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes. What is time anyways? This is a yes or no question. Nah. Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Hey, I just want to play the game. Help. What? 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 Why does it just say help? I'm scared. Yes. Will you come back to visit me? Yes, absolutely. Bro. This game is going to give me a crisis every time I open it. I haven't even started playing it yet. Okay. jumping in. I almost spoofed. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Got jump scared, sorry.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Achievement unlocked. Welcome back. Wait. You're telling me I didn't get an achievement for the, the achieve things that I did? Hold on, it's very important. I gotta eat these strawberries before I jump in. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Silence balloon.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm gonna jump out the window. Surely that's possible, right? I'll open the balloon. No, I'm so close. I know you can. It's not a lie to me. No. I keep getting so loud. No.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah. Whoa. How do I? Oh.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Okay. Am I stuck here now? Am I stuck here, narrator? Alright, well, I know what I have to do. Oh. Hello! Oh, wait. Did I? Wait. There we go. Ah! I'm dropping straws everywhere. I fell out of a window. I'm about to do it again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons.
Yeah, the narrator's like...
He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Yes.
You too will become quite unbearable.
I'm gonna go ahead and restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Will we ever know? What is... Lilith? I found the bucket. I found the bucket. I found it.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I picked up the bucket. I sure did. This is my bucket. Ooh, I did something. One of those computers said awaiting input, and I clicked it and it said input received.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't want to do a door on my left.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
The bucket is destiny. I love this bucket. Bucket, my beloved.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure.
A grand adventure.
Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
I love the bucket.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Everything I do, from now on, I do for this bucket.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
The fact that one of my nicknames is Bucket, too, makes me just love it even more. Literally. Alright.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo
The
lift.
bucket is talking to me now.
Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Oh no.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
But
Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
This is the new companion cube. This is the new companion cube from Portal. This is the companion cube. I love this bucket. Bucket in the bucket.
No, stop! Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what
I literally
isn't a bucket?
commented on that earlier.
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true,
No,
well, my
past the
goodness,
sweet sign.
I think we have to do
pointed
something
out
about
earlier.
it.
Towards the bucket.
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
No, this is literally about to be the containment cube. It's gonna make me get rid of the bucket, isn't it? Please don't make me get rid of the bucket, please. I don't want to. Oh. Is this a bucket? Put the narrator in the bucket.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes. It's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay, fuck you.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Then wouldn't it still be a bucket?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
That's a bucket, right?
Correct. This is a bucket.
It's a bucket. This game would send a Victorian
Item 4.
child into
Is this a bucket?
Yeah, that's a bucket.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Bucket.
Is this a bucket?
I literally just said that was a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
That is a bucket. Yes! Thank you.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
He lost his bucket. Watch, he's gonna wheel it out and it's gonna be me.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Am I a bucket?
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't help that. I'm sorry. I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay.
How sold the narrator actually is. Did he just crash my game?
Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Oh my god. I love this game. I love this game. Everything is a bucket. The bucket is a lie.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
I love this bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if I don't do the left door again? What if I do the right door again? Should I do the right door? So yeah.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Ooh, I want to find that. No. We're going downstairs. I don't remember what was down here last time I did it, so. But it'll be different now with the bucket.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh no. Uh-oh. What's going on here? No, we got the line, the baby, the broom closet.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Mannequin.
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
What
The
about
bucket
him?
isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
love
We're
Bucket.
the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
No. I am keeping my bucket. Thank you. Fine, I'll follow yours.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
The music came back.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No. No, he's not going to make me give up the bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Absolutely not. He's literally doing a companion cube.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
I don't want to destroy the bucket. No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Nope. Nope. I'm going to find a way to not destroy the bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
You know what?
Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and
Oh, just got flashbanged. Awesome. What?
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. What? You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now.
Ash is going crazy.
Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
It did. Good. Because I wasn't gonna let it destroy my bucket. I love my bucket.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
For now, squinty eyes.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
I embraced the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
No.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
There's something I never actually did the first time around.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. A cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I am at the bucket's command.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Oh my god, you're right. I should try. I don't think there's anywhere else for me to go.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
So what if I don't listen to the bucket? I will begin to not like this bucket if it keeps telling me what to do.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Man, just watching a
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. I love that. That's great.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the 2 doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
What if I pick up the phone now? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that one. I don't think there's a good answer. Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
What if I just hung out in the lounge? Oh my goodness, I'm so thirsty. I need water. Crunchy water. Crunchy water. I'm quenching my thirst.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
What if I just went back to the right? Oh. Okay, I feel like that was the wrong decision. Not often do I feel I've made the wrong decision, but I feel like that was definitely the wrong decision. I went through the right door again.
What? We're back at the phone already?
Oh, no.
No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I'm gonna go to the right door again.
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what? Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I keep going through the right door.
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's...
Okay, I think it's not gonna...
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Fine, I'll go through the left.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
Why?
Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not... Is it a delivery?
Yeah.
Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so mental, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Well, instead of the ceiling. Oh, never mind. Well, now what?
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is this Stanley's office?
Yeah. Do I pick up the bucket again?
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
If I go to the broom closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never! Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Your mom.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
I've done it. The bucket has my name on it.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Oh, yeah?
You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Got another sticker.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, "Ah, it's a bucket." There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
On it to remind me that I'm holding a bucket. Just in case I forget, you know.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket now. The broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay. Fine.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I think I want to walk downstairs. Last time I got a little less attention. Let's see what happens this time. Oh, I found a collectible. Found the Stanley.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Yes. That's literally, I can't think of anything else.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I mean, kinda. Your bucket's empty.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
The computer screens are getting a little funky. Like all of them are kind of weird. Figurine Finders Committee. All of them are turned on and like. Yeah. Lilith. You'll never believe it. The bucket still has my stickers on it.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
I love this.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The figurine finder thing going on. How we can find them. While putting objects here in the office, we have to energize the resources. Any questions, there's no memo. Agenda. I can tell you some article on what makes them float in the air. We took these pictures of them. Big clues are hard to find. Follow clues provided by employees. 416 Red Room. Thank you, good luck. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the freak up. It may concern. I managed to pick up the sounds unusual to our regular office. And these audios. Whoa, that's scary. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Can we steal them? Obviously. Why do they kind of look like 427? Yes. Trust the completionist instinct. There will be a reward for finding them all. Now I have to find all the figurines. search for the collectibles, and it's actually like marked out the ones that I've already found. So where I need to look is a large room locked with boxes. Somewhere with both red and blue, which I'm assuming is the red and blue door, nearby a fireplace. Yeah, 15-minute boxes bathroom, probably. I want them so much. I want to go home. Stop yourself. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Who are you? 666 LOL. I just look like our bulletin in the head. Literally, it has the exact same energy as people put that in. Help on posted. Still there. Alright. On we go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Sure did. Okay, bathroom. Here he is. Oh, the wall says something. Monday in the morning, Monday at evening. Monday for breakfast. Monday crisp.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Yay. Is there anything in here yet? The elevator works yet? Elevator's still not functional.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I just remembered it first. I found another one.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Well, now I want to find all this Stanley. You know what I didn't do last time is the goal escape route. Ooh. Well, I don't know if it'll be starry now that I have the bucket, but we can try.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything's okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, mind control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Yeah.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
It's amazing. Ooh, red room. Whee! Oh, yeah. Red and blue. Oh, this is the same portal. These seem straight out of portal.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
This isn't it.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator,
What?
as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Was that the bucket's narrator? The bucket has a narrator too? There's a different narrator.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
What? What? The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a carnivorous void. A cavernous void. What a carnivorous? Where did I get that word? But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging of the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourselves and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? What is happening?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets. That is not 25 buckets. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. A bucket with two handles? A bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life. Having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Ooh, big bucket. Let me ask if there's Inferno bucket. That doesn't narrow it down any. I have made pictures of men. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called. Why is going up the stairs so hard? Cave drawing. You've known that buckets predate the existence of mankind. We do not know how long. Bucket has likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
It's a good game. What is back there? It's the exact same blue that I've been dealing with lately. What is back there? What is... Why is it glowing blue? Why are you blue? The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. Distance and inevitability is for our own good. Yeah. Hey, you know what I think I found? Infinite hole. Oh, never mind. I'm not falling. I thought I was going to fall into it, but I didn't.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...
I died. I died. Maybe I should go back to that without the bucket to see if I can get the star room, because I want to see the star room.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
I love you dearly. I love you so dearly, I'm not going to pick you up. Hopefully that doesn't get me in trouble.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why did the music ramp up when I walked in? Somewhere both red and blue, and a large room with lots of clocks. Got it. Well, I think I know where to find red and blue ones, so I'll do that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Boing, boing, boing. Yeah, it's quite atmospheric, I will say.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yeah, I'm good.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep. I want to see the stars. Whee! Pretty good hallway.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Bye-bye.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay, so it's going to be about the same as the other one, I'm assuming?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh, I found another exhibit.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, that's terrifying. Selection of the sound cues. Just game buttons. I found beepers and boopers. One of these has solitude things. Credits all. Oh, that's cool.
great. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. They're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you? Facility to end this injustice forever.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see.
Oh, this white room is making me sleepy. Ah, so easy. Are you a rock? This is like a really big place. Oh, there's too many branching paths. Okay. We'll go ahead and...
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
You know I can't make decisions. Okay. Okay, so that wasn't the stars.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna go to the red and blue place, but I have to leave the bucket or else I can't get to it. Because it's behind the no bucket door.
When Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Maybe it's down there. I don't remember if it's down there or not.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Gotta get all the way back up there now. Whoa. Whoa. You're seeing this right. That's definitely weird. Oh, I can't tell if this is intentional. I'm definitely looking at some broken textures right now. I can't tell if that's what's meant to happen or not, or if this is part of the game. See, that's the weird part. I fell out of that. I fell out of the map. Hey, did I break the game or is that scripted? I genuinely can't tell. Was that scripted? Was that scripted or not? That was... I genuinely don't know, though.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Yeah, I don't know. What just happened? Yeah, I really can't tell if I just glitched it or if that was just... The blade is actually moving really slow, and the fruit it's just doing that.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, deeply, madly love.
I like where this is going. This is a romance now.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's see if I don't die off my catwalk.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I think I'm going to walk through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Did I find Star's room?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
I think it is.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I'm just gonna stare at the sky. I'm gonna fall asleep. Amazing. Oh, it's so pretty, so shiny. I love the music, it's so cute. I wonder if I fall off the side of this. Oh, I can't. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm turning into... I don't know what I'm turning into. I'm turning into something here. Oh my god. I'm happy flappies. It's so pretty. Flappy hands. It's so pretty. Oh my god. Oh, it's beautiful. It looks like a lava lamp. Oh my goodness. Oh man, my computer is not loving. It's kind of lagging on me. Okay, moving on.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Oh, it's so pretty. I'm sorry, but I have to move on eventually or I'll be stuck there forever.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Oh. I need to quit imagining that the narrator is sold because it's making me sad.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Yeah, think about it.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Pretty light. Oh, pretty. Pretty. I'm walking so slow because of how many times I've just broken my legs. Back up the stairs I go. Goodbye, cruel world.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Oh. Oh, no. I need to give Soul a really big hug. Ash is looking at me. Can I help you? Now what do I do?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
I
memo.
have to find a room full of boxes. I don't know where that would be. But that's the last room that I need to check to find the last figurine.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Where will I find a bunch of boxes? Large room. Lots of boxes? Question mark?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I don't think I want to find the box here, but I haven't seen.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I might go ahead and do one more and then sleep. My ass is tired.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
It's okay. I'll play for a bit more and then I'm gonna hop off it. I was about to take a nap, but it is almost 2 in the morning. So I don't think nap is the right word.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Cradle the bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Did they? Did they high-five in a really cool way? Did the bucket and Stanley high-five? Should I turn this off or on?
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
I want to see what happens if I turn it off. I want to see the escape ending. Me and the bucket escape together. I'm gonna have dreams about the bucket tonight.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What? Wait. What happened? I'm getting teleported somewhere. Don't you dare send me back to the office. I wonder what happened. What? Back to the office? So why?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, that was weird. Yeah, I don't know what to do now. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bucket my beloved. I love you, Bucket. I love this Bucket to death. Alright, we'll go ahead and... We'll click the main menu. I think that's a good place to leave off. Actually, the worst place to leave off.
Perfectly fine with him.
What? You're talking. It's English. It's very... It certainly is. Oh, don't look at my desktop. It's a mess. Don't look at it. Floro-bleedus. Floro-bleedus. Floro-bleedus and the bleed machine. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Pew, pew, pew. Hold on. There is. I know for a fact. There's another one. Wrong way. Where is he? No, he's not in there. Oh, God. There we go. Together at last. I should just leave it like that. I flipped it and as much as on. What else can we do with this? Well, well, not what I wanted. Stop moving that. Bink, 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 bink. Meow. Aw. I'm so fucking tired. I'm just gonna put him right here, and I'm gonna leave him there, and I'm gonna forget about him, and he'll be there next time I get back on. There you go. Tiny whisper. Oh man. Wait, there's another one I can put in here. Yeah, can I help you? Hi. What was I trying to do with it? Oh, oh my god, he's big. Large. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this for next time I open OBS. I stretched it. Just wait a couple seconds. You'll see what I did to it. I feel like there's definitely something else I could add to this that would make it just like extra cursed. He's wide. What's my JPEG folder? Oh god, you know what? I'm scared. I'm scared of what this image is, but it's used. Shut up or I will boom you. Yeah, pretty much. Uh-oh. Poopy. I see. I look. Oh, ow, my eyeball. What? Oh, sorry. Vic, Master Jeweler. God, I just have to. Sorry. Okay. You said something about cross. Just by the way. Death Hater 420. There's some random price ones in here. Ow. Ow! Um. I wish I was inspired to sleep. Okay, so there's my OBS setup. I'm taking a screenshot of this. I'm taking a screenshot of this. I just gotta. Okay, I'm done screwing around now. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Gonna end the stream. This is perfect. I love it so much. It's gonna be really hard to fix. It's wonderful. This exists on the internet now.